y'all, it's Duchess Braids here and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my daughter's hair for back to school, and she wanted me to do half boho in the back and then half cornrows in the front. The hair that we're using today is by Expressions Hair. This one is M4, 33, 27, and 613. So that is a blend all together. And this is what the hair looks like. And for my curly pieces, wet and wavy hair that I got from Amazon, I did dye it. This is the thread that it has. And it still looks great even when colored. My next product that I'm using is going to be the Pure O Gel. This is what I'm going to use for most of the braiding of her hair. The comb that I'm using is the Precision Comb by Duchess Braids. This comb is back in stock now. We're also using edge control at the end to like spruce up our edges. There's a name change on it because it's a new, more improved, better formula. You guys are gonna love this edge control, and it's called Edges by DB. This is all on my website. It's back in stock, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. While her hair was wet, I did put in the Charles Daughters Goddess Strength, and I mixed it with the Do Grow Mega Thick formula. I like to mix these two together in my hand and just lather her hair with it, and then I go in with the blow dryer. Those are pretty much what I'm using today to accomplish her style. Real quick, let's talk about today's sponsor, Acuity Scheduling. Acuity Scheduling is the all-in-one booking software that makes running your business effortless. Not only can clients schedule appointments with ease, but you can also fully customize your booking sites, change fonts, colors, even create your own custom link so it feels on brand and easy to share. The global scheduling tools are a game changer. You can control your start time, minimize gaps between appointments, even adjust your time zone if you travel for work. You're totally in control. Payments covered. Cutie Scheduling connects with PayPal, Stripe, and more. If things change mid-appointment, like adding a product or service, you can send an invoice right on the spot. So if you've been thinking about a booking software, trust me, Acuity Scheduling should be your first choice. Try free with the link in my description. And when you're ready, use code DuchessBraids20 to save 20% off your first Acuity Scheduling subscription. The first thing we're going to do is part her hair in sections. And you guys know I'm always going to start with the middle part. Then once you have your middle part, you do kind of want to find a section that you want your straight back braids from the front to stop at. We want her straight back braids to stop about right here. You guys can go further in or further back. It just depends on what you and your clients agree on. And I'm gonna meet it up to the back of her ear. Braid that's closest to her ear to fall behind her ear. I don't want it to fall in front of it, so I always make sure that my line ends up on the back end of her ear. Then I'm gonna start in the middle, back to the back of her other ear. And I always want to take the lump in the back and just kind of look from side to side to make sure that everything looks even. And if it's not, I like to go ahead and correct that. We're doing medium-sized braids at the back. I'm just gonna part from where I feel like my medium is. Everyone's medium is different, so whatever your medium is, you want to part from one side of the ear to the other. And this is gonna be brick layering square braids. And of course I gotta go in and clean up every part that I do, because that's one thing that makes the style for me, is having a nice clean part. And the precision comb is gonna do it every single time. This is probably one of the sharpest combs on the market. Because I got her hair all coated, I'm gonna start with the to jump right in with adding the hair in from the get so that the beginning of her boho braids aren't thin. So like 1, 2, 3 back to back. Normally I only put in 4 pieces in an entire boho braid. Make my pieces the perfect size to where I only need about 4. Once I've done those 3, I braid a little bit and then put in 1 more piece. This is going to determine for me if the braid is too big or too small. I'm going to reach for one of my curly pieces. So as you guys can see, the thread is on it. So what I want to do is I want to add it in right before the thread. Start braiding. I want to pull this piece out as soon as I can and just continue to braid the one with the thread. And then once you fully finish the threaded piece, you want to pull out the second boho braid. Let that one be free. And because I have limited curly pieces, I'm only going to put 3 pieces, which was going to be 6 strands of hair in each braid. For my last and final piece, I'm going to just keep braiding. I'm not going to pull the hair out at all. I'm going to braid as far down as I can go. And once I've gotten to a certain point, I'm going to pull out a piece, a little piece of my curly hair. Since it's the longest part, I'm going to pull out a little piece and I'm going to make a knot with it. So a real small and tiny piece. And I'm just going to make a doubled knot. This is how the piece looks at the end. And this is how the entire braid piece looks from start to finish. So this is her knotless braid. It's nice and thick from the root, and it comes down with these pieces, and it ends off with the curly piece. So we've done the first 4 braids at the back. So now we're going to go into our second row, and I'm going to start that row probably from the tip of her ear and go straight across with it. Now, like I said, we're doing brick layering. So because I know that there is 4 braids here, I want to make sure I do 5 braids in this row. These 5 braids are gonna lay in between the lines of the 4 braids below. And that is how you achieve brick layering. The way that I know it's going to be brick layering is when my part for the first section ends up right in the middle of the braid underneath, and that's how I know I'm good to continue on. We're going to make sure everything lines up just the same for each braid. And then I'm gonna also go in and show you guys how I mix up, how I add in these curls to make sure we have a nice full braids at the back. So once I've gotten my first braid in on the second row, instead of putting the curly pieces in the same way that I put it in at the bottom row, I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. So instead of putting it in pretty much right here where I would start it, I'm gonna braid down some and start it there. And this is gonna make sure that when her hair is finished, there are no like sparse areas where it looks like you can kind of see through the hair. It's all gonna look really full because I'm not putting them all on the same level. So now when you look at her hair, this is the bottom piece. It's gonna start up here. And then for the second row, when it falls, the hair is gonna fall in this little area right here where you see there is no hair on the bottom piece. It's just gonna fall there and create an illusion of fullness, instead of kind of making that area look a little see-through and sparse. The only thing that I'm going to be consistent with is how I do the ends. I'm going to always keep the ends the same because we do want that final piece at the end to be curly, and so I'm going to keep that last and final curly piece the same way I do at the ends. This is how this hair is going to fall. You guys see it looks nice and full already. Completed the back, and as you can see, it's fallen pretty nicely. It does look full. So now when I put the braids at the front, they're gonna fall on top of these, and the curls are gonna look even more fluffy. Simple straight back design. You guys see I did a little crisscross right here, and I'm gonna do one on the other side. But for the most part, I'm gonna take this style across my middle part. I do about 3 braids on this side, and I'm gonna practically meet the middle. So I'm doing 6 braids on each side, but this one is gonna cross over the center of her forehead where the center part would be, because I'm gonna have it come across like this, and then the other side is just gonna meet up. So it's a simple front design, but then I did throw this in there to just give it a little pizzazz to it. So that's what you guys see me doing here. So I'm gonna go ahead and part. But before I start adding in any of the hair, I want to braid out her natural hair first, because with her edges, they tend to be very weak and break very easily. So I like to braid to where I feel like is a safe zone before I start adding the extensions. Because as you know, once you start adding the extension, it's going to put a little bit more tension on the hair around that area. So I braided out the front first because her edges just is very weak for it's always been like that since she was young. So we don't want to damage it. So I tend to braid back some with just her natural hair and I braid it lightly. And then I start to add in the extensions. So far, this is what her hair is looking like. It's looking really good, but I'm gonna go inside and go ahead and finish it up. And like I said, I'm just gonna do some simple braids. So this is as far as the braids are gonna come over. Then I'm gonna start going in this direction now. It's getting a little too windy out here. I'm gonna go inside and finish it, and then I'll come back with the finished results for you guys. And this is the finished results, guys. This is what she's headed back to school with. I love the color and I can't stress that enough. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about this video. How do you feel about the style? And would you try this style? And if there's any information that I didn't cover, please let me know in the comments and I will respond to you as soon as I see it. But thank you guys again for staying tuned into my channel and watching. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.